You are now live and direct, rocking with Hotwordz Lyrical Theater here in Inglewood, California. Now, some say Inglewood ain't up to no good, but it's all good over here. We got a great show for you today. We got guests in the studio. We got callers calling in from around the country, so you know it's about to go down. This is Mahogany Soul, and I am here with the Hotwordz crew.
And this is Liz, aka LGD Poet. And just to let you know a little bit about myself, I'm a single mom, a woman with a lot of fear, and just basically looking forward to the new adventures that I have in life. And thank you for tuning in here on Hotwordz Lyrical Theater and Accelerated Radio.
Yes, and we're a little limited today. We don't have our full crew, but it doesn't matter. We're still going to make it happen. If you missed my voice last week, I was out camping with my son, just getting the balance that I need, that we all need. But we are back here, and we are ready to go. We have a caller coming in from Jamaica. Deandra will be on the line shortly. We are just waiting for her to get queued up. And we want to shout out Uso. He had a family member transition recently, and we just want to send our prayers, our thoughts, and just our love and energy to him at this time while he goes through this shift.
Our condolences go out to Uso Lucifer and his family. Keep him in prayer, please.
Yes.
And again, you're listening to Hotwordz Lyrical Theater here on Accelerated Radio, and we are waiting for our guests.
We also want to send out prayers to Alexis' mother as she goes through her shifts and changes, and we want to send her love and light and all of that good energy as she moves through to healing.
This is Gigi the Storyteller, and yes, we're going to have a fantastic show because we have to get these airwaves going all the way from Jamaica. But I want to tell you about the event that we had last week, right? It was so dope, and we actually have Felicia Cade in the house. She came up to Patra Coffee. She grabbed that mic, and she just went for it. I said, girl, what you got going? Felicia, she's in the house. She's a poet. She's been around everywhere. She walked into the studio here at Accelerated Radio, and she knew.
Totally recognized her. She and
LGD.
I, this is LGD Poet. She and I competed back in 2018 for Aisha Parker's Women's Poetry Slam.
Yeah.
She is just awesome. I just love how she projects such a strong voice, and the lyrics, just what the substance of your poetry really got me then. I really appreciate it. You want to share about yourself a little bit?
Sure, yeah. I am a poet, activist, here for the people. I'm a people.
All right.
I'm here fresh off the plane. I just did a year of traveling. I was in Europe, I was in Africa, and I was in Paris, and got a chance to share my poetry, and now I'm back in L.A.
May I
Inglewood,
ask
to
you,
be exact.
Welcome home.
Welcome.
Hey.
What made you decide to take that year of travel?
It was a spiritual journey. It was a poetic journey. It was just complete alignment and just really just taking time to just listen to God and really just follow that voice.
How do you know when God is talking to you, though?
When you have distinguished His voice from your own wants.
Yeah,
When you quieted your, I think for me, it's when I quieted myself. I feel like God's always been talking, but I've been talking at the same time.
I think that's what we all go through. Like when I'm like, I hear myself way too much. So I'm like, how do I distinguish that voice, God's voice?
Yeah.
So I'm like proud of you.
Thank you
For taking that journey. I actually looked up to you. I used to follow you a lot on Instagram. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's over there now in Europe and then Africa.
Where's she going next?
Oh my God, yes. Yes, I did. I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice to have you back, though.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm back. Nothing like home.
Right? This is Mahogany Soul. That's a beautiful thing, just to go and expand your horizons and, interact with different cultures and really go back to the motherland, which is, the essence of where we all come from. So that's a beautiful thing. I'm a little envious because I've never been
Look,
I've never
next
been
time
to the
I'm going,
motherland.
you going with me.
Put me in a backpack,
Listen, next time I'm going, you coming. Listen, we're gonna hook you up with food. Shout out to my folks in the GHO. We're gonna hook you up with some food.
Huh.
Listen, get you some chocolate in your system.
All right.
Listen.
Now, I'm for it. I am for it. So now that you're back home, is there anything that you're working on that the people can look forward to?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm working on 2 poetry books right now. They'll be out in another about 3 weeks.
Okay.
I'm also working on put together a group for young black leaders called USO, Unified, Strategize, and Organize.
Okay.
For us to really just get active and strategizing and, once the marching is over, we got to really be able to make some strategic moves, and so that's what I'm prepping us for.
No, that's key. That's key.
Yeah.
Like you said, strategize. You know, it's been a lot of reactionary things that we do without thinking, without strategizing. That key word you said. So that's a great thing.
Yeah.
I definitely will look, forward to it and see what you have going on, and how I could be a part of it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
tell us, like in your travel, is there anything that you learned overseas that you can actually impart over here in your strategic moves?
Yeah.
with the youth.
Oh, absolutely. One of the major things, I just had it was a white guy at my job today that was asking me questions about like solutions, and I was telling him one of the main issues in America is a race versus culture. America focuses a lot on race, on color. When I was in Europe, it was about culture. And so I experienced very little racism because there's so much culture there. Like, you can't just assume like someone is
This is Gigi, the storyteller. And this is what I be trying to tell you people. I love when we have guests that will spread some truth around here, because we're so locked into America, and we're not outside the box. We're so limited, because this race thing, we have talked about it before, this made up thing. So we have to get into who we really are outside the race.
Yes, it's so true.
So you want to continue telling us, like, what is it that you learned from?
Yeah, so I mean, just for one, just to be in a place where race wasn't a factor, that I was human first, was really weightlifting, and it really taught me a lot about culture. I ran into some white folks that were from Poland and from Russia and from Lithuania, from Ghana, from Nigeria, from Igbo Islands. So it really opened my mind about the difference between race and culture as one of the major things.
So what can you teach us over here? Like, what can you teach our youth? So you're just gonna have that event or that project that you're actually in the mix now. So what can you impart on them? Like, what will be the lesson that you're gonna teach us?
Really, the main thing that I'm trying to do is to unify the movement. The Black Liberation Movement is trying to unify right now. I feel like it's really sporadic. Everybody's doing their own thing, but we don't really have an identity as far as the body is concerned. So,
What about us, a lot of Latinas, Hispanic people? How can you unite us more? Because I see a lot of separation, and recently a friend and I were talking about that there's a lot of Latinos that are putting up postings on Instagram stating that Black people are actually attacking some of the Latinos, which I myself, I haven't seen it per se, but I can see and I understand that there's always been this division. What can you do to actually unite us more? Because that's what I think we need more.
Yeah, we do. I think that's a part of it. I think Latinos play an important part in this role, and I think that the more that they find their own voice and speak up, that'll make room for, because we can't, the Mexican community, we grew up together. You know what I'm saying? I grew up eating, Mexican food just as much as I ate soul food. So we grew up together, but the Latinos are not speaking up as loudly as they can.
You know what? I've noticed that.
And because of that, we can't force y'all to speak up. But once the Latino community decides that they've had enough too, because the stuff what they've added to America versus what they're experiencing right now is it's imbalanced. So once the Latino community starts to speak up, we're gonna join forces. That's inevitable, because we were raised together, even whether we forget it sometimes or not. We were raised together, and we family, and we know that deep down inside. We know that. We know it was back in the days. It was no Negroes, no Mexicans, and no dogs. So we know.
I experienced certain things growing up. I love my parents, and I think our older generations, it depends on what culture it is, that we're taught differently. I do remember sometimes my late mother would say, lock the door, because we used to live in like Koreatown, certain areas where we see a lot. But always intrinsically, I always knew that that's not the right thing. But as the older we got, and as I talked to my mother more, we would understand. My son is an interracial child, so I see the difference. I don't have that prejudice towards Black people.
Yeah.
Of course, I surround myself around you guys. I love you. But it's sad how some of our family members don't see that. So it's like I just want to know. Well, for myself, I'm just trying to just learn more on how do we unite more the Hispanics with the Black people.
I feel like I honestly feel like we're already, united. I think some of the things get mixed into it, which is like, some of the prison system, some of the Black and Mexican men, because in prison is very segregated, so it's very much about race. But when they come out, they kind of infiltrate that thinking into us, and that's not really the case. And so I think between the men not really uniting and having the racial issues between the gangs and things like that infiltrated a little bit, as well as just really making sure that we communicate with each other as well.
That's vital.
You know what I mean?
Communication.
And are inclusive of each other.
And now we actually have our guest from Jamaica, correct? Hi. how are
Yes,
you
from
doing?
Jamaica. Hi, I'm
Jamaica.
fine.
Deandra, is that the correct way?
It's no, it's Daindra. Daindra. Daindra.
Deandra. Like almost danger, but Daindra.
Yeah, Harrison.
Dangerous
Daindra
poet,
Harrison.
right? Nice to see you. Welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Yes, thank you. This is Mahogany Soul, and we welcome you to the Hotwordz Lyrical crew. And we want you to just, give a little bit about us. Tell the people who you are and what you're about.
Well, I am Daindra Harrison. I attend the Arden High School. You're probably not aware of that school in Jamaica. I'm a writer, I'm a poet, and I'm an actor. I enjoy writing. I write a lot. What I write is spoken word poetry, with a nice rhyme, a nice vibe. Y'all are understanding what I'm saying, right?
Absolutely. We
Most
do.
definitely. It's all about the
Okay,
vibe.
great.
We actually, I went ahead and I looked at some of your postings on Instagram. You have such a vibrant attitude, being 18 and the acting in it. I saw it. It was like so amazing. I also listened to your poem, Good Over Evil. Tell me where that poem came from. Like,
Pardon me?
tell me how, oops, are you there? Tell me where that poem came from. Like, how did you come about writing that poem, Good versus Evil?
Well, I definitely have to big up God for giving me the inspiration for writing that poem. All wisdom comes from God. So I definitely have to big up God. And I also have to big up the one and only legend, Bob Marley. He wrote a song in which I'm not sure if you're aware of the song lyric, Good Over Evil. There's a song that he wrote, and Good Over Evil is one of the song lyric in it, right? And I was just sitting down and I was like, based on what's going on in the world, and I realized people have this notion in their heads where they can fight evil with evil and think that it's going to work out. But at the end of the day, the only way you can beat evil is with good, right? And I feel like the super thing that society is getting wrong is that you can fight evil with evil, and evil with evil, and you keep on beating each other. At the end of the day, you can only fight evil with good. And that was the message that I was trying to portray in that spoken word poem.
A message that needs to be delivered constantly in this era right now with the the revolts that's going around with everybody just experiencing the death of Floyd. So definitely positive energy needs to be spread, continue to be spread. But I do understand, for instance, like when people say that they're angry and that they're rioting, I understand why they riot though. I absolutely
Yes, of
do.
course,
And it
yeah.
doesn't mean that that they're trying to destroy their own communities. They're just trying to be heard, in my opinion. They're trying to be heard finally and understood that it's not okay to continue to target black people. And so when you're saying, okay, we have to go ahead and have good supersede evil, which I appreciate your point.
Yes.
Supersede evil, but it's just kind of hard when
Absolutely.
you have so much pain in the heart. It's so hard to do that. But you want to say something?
Well, yes, it is. This is Mahogany Soul. I just wanted to mention that you're very well spoken for 18, and it seems that you have your head on right and you're on the right track. And just the message
Thank
that
you.
you're giving, for the youth and for the people in your age group is needed. We need a voice that's going to be powerful for the youth, because ultimately the youth pushes the future forward. You guys are that foundation, and we need to lay that foundation solid. So we appreciate artists like yourself. So speaking of all
Thank
your
you.
creative abilities, why don't you go ahead and spit something for the people, anything that you feel?
Okay, so I am going to recite my Good Over Evil poem, right? So let me just get right into it. Seek a peek in the past and you'll find that the future was written. Never have I sought evil over evil. Missy man killing man because in practice man to man. Nation attacking nation, rumors of war upon the land. Husband murdering wife due to adulterous strife. Black against white to defend the racial rights. Ignorant. Society's corrupt connotation of justice is to reciprocate evil for evil. A mirror reaction, what a sweet satisfaction. You offended me, so I will double offend you. Together we can walk the wrong path in the same shoe. But if we slip, we slide. And if we slide, we glide. Glide into a bottomless pit of destruction. Down here in this dark abyss, there is nothing to see. Let's flip the script and disagree to agree. Agree to hate. Agree to kill. Agree to murder. But vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So how dare you come and tweak this to your own accord? An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth was never the truth. Tit for tat will eventually slap your back. A soft answer turneth away wrath. But if you continue fighting with an unforgiving heart, justice will not be brought. The true perpetrators will be on the loose because you decide to jump in their shoes, rock out of the shoes and drop on the floor because justice is coming, it's banging at the door, weeping, wailing and gnashing of teeth. But if you stoop to them level, you, it a go meet.
I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that.
That was definitely a great piece. Like I said, it's definitely good that you are spitting that and pushing that energy out, being that you're so young. You know, a lot of the youth are not aware or really don't want to be aware of the issues that are going on today.
Yeah, that's very true.
That poem also kind of surfaced this other question is like, evil is in the eye of the beholder, I think, like good and bad. So nowadays is again, it's like I wonder what is really technically evil. Like different cultures constitute the beating of women as okay, exceptional, but here in the United States we don't. It's just unhuman. So when it comes down to like good and evil in your poem, it just surfaced that for me. I just wanted to bring that up.
I hear what you're saying, Liz. This is Mahogany. I think we can all generally agree that, you know, what's good and what's bad. I mean, I know different cultures have different ways of doing things, but ultimately we know that harming anyone, any being, animal or human, is wrong. You know, so we can agree to that ultimately. But I think that we all are moving into that collective energy of just moving forward, and we just have to go through these shifts together.
We have, this is Gigi the Storyteller. And
Yeah.
we're also, broadcasting on Accelerated Radio, but also on YouTube. So Alexis Bay, one of our hosts, tapped in and she listened to your poem, and she says that it was very powerful.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Yes, we had a little technical difficulty. You here with us, DJ?
Yeah, I was a bit
okay. All right, we got Gigi on the line. Gigi, can you go back and speak to the people?
Just repeat what I said.
We had a little technical difficulty. We just rolled through.
Yeah, because I try not to get on the mic and I say, turn my mic off, but I just saw the message from Alexis Faye and she just wanted to leave a comment to let you know that your poem was very powerful. I want you to know that.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Alexis Faye. Thank you for that. I hope she also got the message.
Do you have another poem
Hello?
that you want to go ahead and share with us?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, this is Gigi the Storyteller again.
We're sorry.
We're going to slide into a smooth track by one of our former guests, Sunset Alley. It's actually in my top 3 that I like from independent artists, and we like to push that here on Hotwordz Lyrical Theater.
Okay. I have my music.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Caught in a distant place, trying to find some way to explain myself. So many things to say, the way you make me feel. Since you came around, can't even hold myself, because with you I found no one like you, no one like you. Many came close, but there's no one like you. The feeling I have is just so unlike me, so enticing yet so unlikely to be this way. In all of my days, can you help help me understand why, oh, why the way you make me feel at times I just can't seem to get you off my mind. I wish we just stop and take things slow, but I can't help that I want you to know. You can hear my heartbeat, skip a beat when you're near me. When I speak, you hear me. Not to mention every single time you hold me down so tight, I swear. Anywhere you wanna go, I'll take you there. This is all a dream, but only time can tell. Caught up in your smile every single time you're here. Laughter upon my face, a pleasure that you have placed. Something that I can't define, a feeling that I cannot shake. Maybe we should pump the brakes, but we don't care either way. Cause let's just won't compare to what we share. No one like you, no one like you. Many came close, but there's no one like you. The feeling I have is just so unlike me. So enticing, yet so unlikely to be this way. In all of my days, can you help me understand why, oh, why the way you make me feel at times I just can't seem to get you off my mind. I wish we just stop and take things slow, but I can't help that I want you to know. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, Ooh, baby, baby. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. The way you make me feel at times, I just can't seem to get you off my mind. I wish we just stop and take things slow, but I can't help how bad I want you to know. The way you make me feel at times, I just can't seem to get you off my mind. I wish we just stop and take things slow, but I can't help how bad I want you to know. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
And that was The Way You Make Me Feel by Sunset Alley. It's a great summer song, by the way. I totally, totally love it. I can envision myself writing down PCH, listening to that song, enjoying this nice summer weather.
That was a vibe.
It was definitely,
nice.
wasn't it? Now we want to go ahead and get back to Danger. Did I say that right? Danger.
Yeah, danger.
Before we went to on that little intermission, I asked if you had another poem that you wanted to recite. Do you want to go ahead and do you have another poem? you wanna
Oh,
recite?
yes, I do. This one, it's not that modern. It's entitled Empty Barrels Make the Most Noise. Again, I would really like to say I got all the wisdom from God Himself, who gave me the wisdom in writing this. And what this is basically my personal view on what is happening in the music industry currently. Again, this is my opinion. It's not facts. This is also how I feel. All right. So let me just get right into it. So it's entitled Empty Barrels Make the Most Noise, which is a Jamaican proverb. Music has been dashed in the claim-set talented hands of young art cheats, flopping their flightless wings, racing for the rhythm, yet them don't catch the beat. An apocalypse of empty words erupting from unrevolutionized minds, words with supersonic expiry dates, yet we still have to pay a fine. The entertainment industry, hereinafter referred to as the cash industry, has been hung upside down, leaked to its ultimate peak, and thrown in the sea of what you archeats see as society. Society, the dictating puppet master, intricately choreographs his worshippers. Then, like headless chickens scampering for a hypothetical life, the true purpose of change is drowned in blood. Blood. The blood of the greats, twisting, turning, irking, wondering. What is this skylarking? You see, it was never a disguise. The blind could have seen with his eyes that the saying stands true. Empty barrels really do make the most noise.
Very, very good.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Danger.
You're welcome.
Yes, so as we get ready to wind to a close, do you want to let the people know where they can find you, leave your information, your social, anything like that?
Oh, well, you can find me on Instagram at Daindra, DAINDRAHH, or you can email me at Daindra with one H at the end at gmail.com. That's DAINDRAH at gmail.com.
Thank you, thank you. And I know we're going to look out for you as you're also an actress, so we're going to see you hopefully out there. I love your voice, by the way. You remind me of the Pirates of the Caribbean. That I can't remember the name of the character right there, but you have such a great voice. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
again.
you.
You guys are listening to Hotwordz Lyrical Theater on Acela Radio here in Inglewood, California.
Yes, Inglewood, California. We are here. We are live and we are direct. We have Felicia in the building.
Yay!
All right. Felicia, did you want to go ahead and give the people a little something, something?
Sure. This is called Trap Trauma.
All right.
Trauma trapped in our DNA. Open wounds still bleeding, mind stuck on replay. A fun house of broken mirrors and shadows. What is reality? Who is the puppeteer playing Geppetto strings? What is black if black is trapped behind skin that tells stories, whispered behind white sheets and burning crosses, stripped naked and sold, beaten, burned to bone? Target practice for bloody badges, emotionally enraged, mentally fighting shadows that know our names, screaming in the night, but no one can hear us. Tired from marching to invisible destinations, we are numb, ripped void of all feeling, heavy in heart and low in spirit, but we don't talk about it. Ain't found enough words to gather from tears that have not found their way out, still trying to find their way out. Breathe in a country of lost identities. Ideologies made in the image of obedience to pale oppressors hanging by a thread, dancing on the edge of gun barrels and addiction. But we cope. Some find freedom in faith, find God's voice among the crowded smoke. Some drown, never find air. Many dangle between life and death, search for the courage to speak out despite judgment, but we are not our parents. Will not be a tamed generation, nor a repeated cycle. We will stand up, empty out the closet, find freedom on our own terms, look insanity in the face, and dare it not to move.
Wow.
That's a piece.
That is powerful.
Powerful.
I told you guys, she has very powerful words.
As always, if you even know the name Felicia K, she's always done poetry in the city, so you know that when she speaks from her soul, and she's speaking to and for the people. So we appreciate it.
Yes, and I appreciate you appreciating, sis.
Right, right.
So with that poem, I noticed that it's basically a self-reflective poem.
Mhm.
What took you there, to the self-reflecting aspect of your life?
That poem was about, it was actually about, I was asked to write a poem about trauma. And it really just took me to a place as I was writing it, just thinking about just in the Black community, just how much trauma is in our DNA. And a huge part of my journey was experiencing that trauma, but getting a chance to address it from a different angle, like asking questions, you know, to my African brothers and sisters about their perspective of slavery. How did it feel to have your people taken from you? You know what I mean? And what does it feel like to have us coming home, because they did a year of return? So those conversations really healed me, and so that poem was just really reflective of the trauma and just the courage it takes, what it looks like, and the courage it takes to open that closet and address it when you don't have the tools to address it as well. So
And that's the key thing, I think, with everybody, whether we want to believe it or not. I think everybody has some level of trauma from childhood, and it takes a lot of courage to face it and face your fear, face that trauma, and address the people who have inflicted that trauma in order to go ahead and try to move forward with your life. And sometimes it does take a lot of therapy. I don't know if people believe in therapy, but I strongly do. But only to an extent, because it can become kind of a crutch to people when we don't really, just embrace it and become more aware of our own strength. Because with that trauma, it's just really, really hard to move forward sometimes.
yeah, Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is. And it takes a lot of courage to be able to, it's really just looking yourself in the mirror. You have to, it takes a lot of courage to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and to be honest. And it takes, you know what I'm saying, it really takes a strategic approach and really being serious about growth and about healing, you know.
The mirror is a very scary thing to look into.
But we have to take that time to look. And we're going to take this time to get into this track, A Yende Love. Y'all enjoy this one.
I was talking to a student the other day and I asked him what comes after a sentence. And he told me, hopefully, bail. So I asked him where he wanted to be when he got older, and he told me, hopefully, jail. So I'm like, man, what's going on in the home? And he told me, it's hell. There's no man within my house, so I run it myself. And there lied the problem. And I once heard, for one child, it takes a village. But when your people lack in unity, too bad for the children. If you would rather make excuses than a living, and having a father in the home's a privilege. So right now, I vow to be the difference for all the little ones and everyone who would listen. Because going to college is a way to avoid going to prison. And owning these businesses is our intentions. But would it be different if I let you tell the story? I mean, would you be the slave or running your territory? See, I don't know, because I can't make that choice for you. But understand your choices do affect the ones that look at you. So I'm asking, who is brave enough to go where them problems are lurking and bring unity to the face of it like Rick James to Charlie Murphy and say, no more masters, at least without a bachelor's. Because we learn who we are by pulling our mask up. We are all kings and queens, just look in your own eyes, because unity literally starts with you and I.
I mean, it should be clear. All right, you are back with Hotwordz Lyrical Theater. Hopefully you enjoyed that piece by Allende Love. We are getting ready for another V-Mix call. We're waiting for Jonathan Smart to get connected. He is a former artist that's been on the show. He also has the outro, so he's no stranger to Hotwordz Lyrical Theater. So we are just waiting for him to get on the line and let the people know what he has going on. But as we wait, we were just speaking about, you know, taking that time to go into yourself, healing yourself, and, you know, taking that path to do that. And did y'all want to continue speaking on that?
Yeah, it sometimes takes, it's very hard to actually look at yourself in the mirror. And I was explaining it to Felicia that there was a process or a journey in my life last year where changes occurred. And I went through some processes of trying to heal through it with a yoga instructor, and she basically stated, look at yourself in the mirror and give me 5 things to positive about yourself. But when you're going through that process, it's really difficult to say anything positive about yourself when you have experienced such trauma in youth, and it actually has surfaced in your adulthood.
Yeah, and I was saying too that the hardest part I think about facing trauma is that we take the trauma personally. So we take it as, oh, I'm a bad person because I did this or because it produced this kind of behavior. But for me, I separated the trauma from my own personal identity. So that helped me to deal with trauma as if it was an intruder that came into my life that I didn't invite in. And that helped me to be able to look at myself in the mirror because, oh, okay, that's something that I did, but it's not a product of me, it's a product of the trauma. And we're two separate people. And I think a lot of the times when you take trauma, trauma and the actions that stem from it personally, you can get your identity can get wrapped up in the characteristics of the trauma and not. And then when you don't know yourself, that's easy as well too. So
Most definitely.
That's exactly, and you continue to victimize yourself that way.
Yeah.
And I hate that word victimize because as we perpetuate that word, the words are so powerful.
Yeah.
That's how we continue to victimize ourselves or keep ourselves in that subconscious belief that we're continuing to be victims, that we continue to be codependent. But how did you learn to separate that? Like, how long did it take you to get to that point?
It took some time. When I was really going through some changes in my early 20s and with mental health, I really started to really start thinking to myself like, okay, I didn't invite trauma into my life. You know what I mean? It showed up, and so I don't have to take it nor its characteristics personally. And that's what really helped me. That and a lot of prayer helped me to to really help to process things the proper way, because I think it's just, you know what I mean, just especially in your early 20s, how you process the trauma is really, you know, really important. And then really just getting grounded. This last trip that I went on helped to really ground me. And I was just saying in another poem that the only way to survive a tornado was to be grounded, you know. And so just even in my own internal tornadoes, I found myself to be just really found grounded and really knowing exactly who I am, so that I know who I'm not, you know.
And it's interesting how you said the tornado, because the way that I see the tornado too, you know how it's so calm in the middle?
Yeah.
It's like the calm within the storm is to actually go in to center.
Yeah.
And figure that out, because everything else, as it's basically just expanding, it's going to leave the rubbish, that debris, and then you just have to collect it again and then kind of center yourself again.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to therapy? Did you seek any outsourced like therapy?
No, I never went to therapy, but I'm totally supportive of therapy. I think therapy is good. It's good to have an honest space to be able to filter and to be able to see yourself. A lot of my therapy came honestly from my time with God, my prayer time, where I was given like really strong visions and time with friends. You know, shout out to my good friend Maisha. And just good friends, you know what I'm saying, and family that just able to have that open dialogue about the stuff that is not easy to be open about without judgment, you know. So I've been grateful to have, you know, friends and therapists.
And that's a blessing. That's a true blessing to be able to, you know, discuss that and be so vulnerable and transparent and honest.
Yeah, without judgment.
Exactly.
Without feeling like people that make you feel like it's a problem, you know what I mean? Because your early 20s are hard, you know what I mean? It might be a few years where you struggling through something, but you eventually get through it, you know. You should have friends that don't make you feel like a burden or a problem. So I've been really grateful to have really amazing friends.
40s are hard too, girl. I'm 41.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm 31.
But it's like when you're going through that process, it's hard.
Yeah, 60s are hard too.
Oh, no.
But nonetheless, we're all learning lessons. We continue to
Absolutely.
learn
That's true. It never stops.
Yeah, I take the 30 lessons, though, from the early 20s, though. I'll tell you.
lessons. Like Sex in the City said, your 20s is to have fun, your 30s is to learn the lessons, and your 40s is to buy the drinks. So hopefully I'll get to buy you some drinks sometime.
Listen, I take it.
Right, but like you said, I definitely feel like the stuff that we went through the 20s, it was time to apply it now at the 30s, really stepping into like our womanhood and you know our identity and our strength.
You're listening to Hotwordz Lyrical Theater, broadcasting live on Accelerated Radio. On the V-Mix, we have Poet of the Future, a.k.a. Jonathan Smart, once again with the Hotwordz crew. Yeah.
Yay.
All the way from Ohio.
Thank you for joining us.
Ohio in the house.
So we understand he's going to recite a piece?
Yes, it's going to be a spoken word, and it's called Shadowboxing Music.
Okay, go ahead. You have the mic.
I'm just shadowboxing demons as it got me in my feelings. Like, why am I heathen as I'm shadowboxing demons? Every day is fleeting, but I will not be beaten. There's no good and bad, it's just what you be seeing. Changing up perspective is the reason why I'm mean. You said you wanted wisdom, well you gotta let the peace in. With this energy we breathe in, let me change it with the season. There is no God I believe in, that's including all these demons. And I know this leaves them steaming because I continue to dream and have no doubt that I beat them with every breath that I'm breathing. Till my heart stopped breathing. Until my heart stopped the beating. Still feeling this thirst to meaning. There's more to what you were seeing than magic is what you're needing. Defeat all those inner demons, and knowledge is what you're reading. It's what you need to go beat them. They at least don't want me to teach them. They want me to leave them sleeping, unconscious of the inner being and all this magic you see. Well, despite living evil, can I still go be the beacon? It's a change in your actions, not the stakes that you be keeping. No need for excuses, just silence all your demons. Be everyone's awares depending on what you teach. Outlet the violence go and head allow the peace in. Living in hell is that truly what I be seeking. Going self-destruct is that truly what I be thinking. Tired of thinking I'm good when no one's able to hear it. Why you call me worth this when I'm the one you believe in? Kept up with questions until I found out the reason. Overlooking answers until I found out the meaning. See, I wanna be good, but evil is where I'm leading. Mate, I lies with my demons even though I didn't need them. I am destined to succeed. I'm not exactly go and lead them, but I hate being alone. That's the reason why I keep them. People in my vibe are the only ones who see them. They open up their eye, they're a special kind of being. And even in depression, they still try to find meaning in everything we read and everything we see. I know you felt the magic, now you just gotta believe it. Silence your mind and just focus on your breathing. I'm just shadow boxing demons, and it got me in my feelings. Like, why am I a heathen after shadow boxing demons? Thank you.
Thank you again for sharing that piece with us. So we
Right. Okay, so we are waiting. Do we have Master Puff, or did you want to share another piece?
Or how much time do I have? I could share another piece.
What
That
other?
piece is actually longer. I just cut it down because I didn't know exactly how much time I had.
Well, the mic is open, and you welcome to share. You got a piece, then we ready.
Okay. Well, um, Kamaha depression or self-monoclonal anxieties. Keep on throwing spirit bombs just to try to keep them inside of me. No time to charge for keep, but I will never take the key. Keep it going, Kaioken, but only ever in my sleep. I keep away because I'm a constant liability. If I find the other half, I know it'd be the end. I am Hancock and love is leaving me. Pride is sitting me. There is no fear in me. Been alive for a century. I bounce back from empty. I know you ain't hearing me. I'm here to not hearing. Now my goal is clear to see. Now I can just be. Once I am just things I can enlighten. I know you've been frightened. I know you've been fighting. See the look in your eyes, and I know you've been hiding. See, I want your heart. It's just all about time. And I only want you, and you thought I was lying. Just know that it's truth. That's why it's been rhyming. I'm no longer hiding the fact that I love you. It's one of the feelings that I know is true. I saw God and she is within you, but I see pain for all that you've been through. My goal in life was hoping to heal you. I didn't want sex. I just wanted to heal you. Sending them with thoughts that I could be near you. I'm just shadowboxing demons, and it got me in my feelings. Like, why am I a heathen as I'm shadowboxing demons? Quick question. Me going longer doesn't cut out on Master Puff's time, but he is right next to me over here. I just want to make that, like, sure.
No, it doesn't interrupt the time that he has. Were you done with
Okay,
that
then.
piece? Because you stopped midway, or was that the end of that piece?
It wasn't, but I mean,
I mean, well, you
if
welcome
you
to
guys
keep it
don't.
going because the mic is on. You on?
Okay, beautiful. No eye contact when I'm leaving. I can't look at you because I refuse to believe it. Not the fact that I love you, but the fact that I'm leaving. See, I found paradise, but now I'm cheating. I'm not worthy to go and see it. If I go now, I know I won't leave it. But since that day, I haven't been breathing. My mind came home, but my heart stopped beating. Depression started, and then I stopped beating. Right around that time, I could start sleeping. It'd been 2 years, but then I started dreaming. It hit me one day. Oh, I can go be it. This depression, I could defeat it. In the constant search for something in meaning. I'm not this body, I'm just a feeling of being. Consciousness in life, can't wait till you see it. I just booked the morning and you wouldn't believe it. Nobody exists on purpose, not even Jesus. Nobody belongs anywhere, despite what you're reading. Everybody's gonna die, and we give life its meaning. I bury my own corpse, yet I keep eating. I can't believe it, but life is so fleeting. They keep on asking me how you continue with breathing. It's called the past because you needed to leave it. But what about the what if? What about the reality where Lee Harvey Oswald saw JFK in the right wrist? Or where Hitler cured cancer, saving the millions he would have left lifeless? It's an infinite universe. Just take my advice, kid. Don't think about it and continue to live. Be enlightened in the world of death. Unity's with everyone, but she's never within. She's screaming, I'm chaos, but she still let me hit. And after we're over, it's like I never with this. I hate that we just can't stay as friends. You love that I can't change. I love that you can. But you were losing yourself and lending your hands. But you left to stay you, so I understand. So I am chaos in the form of a man. And thanks God is dead, it's my turn to step in. I'm changing the world with the strokes of my pen. I'm inventing this multiverse stat with your pen. You could have an army of me's, and you still will not win. I'm the Jonathan Michael Smart that they all hate with that. Lucifer and I, yeah, we could have been friends. He looks at my life and he's right to depressed. He always thought that he was the best. Lucifer was my first hater, but yet he still shows respect. Life is a race, and he would next. Overanalyze the situation and become ignorant. Lucifer wasn't the only one that was heaven sent. I'd rather rock through clothes and adorn all my sins, put my pride into my work and destroy it all when I win. I'll be left with nothing and still come out with the grand. At the end of the day, I still have my family and friends, but I lost someone I love. So how could I win? I just travel this endless sea of probability of sin. Because I'm just shadowboxing demons, and it got me in my feelings. Like, why am I a heathen as I'm shadowboxing demons? That is it.
Thank you very
There we
much.
go.
Thank you
Thank
very
you for
much for sharing.
sharing. So now we are ready for Master Puff. Are you in the building, Master Puff? What you got for us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. What's up, guys?
Hey, welcome. Welcome back. I like the
Yeah,
shirt. Got the island
it's been
vibes going
terrific.
on.
I like to keep it comfortable,
All
cozy and
right.
comfortable.
All right now. So what you got for us?
I got a song. It's called Firepower. And I also want to give a shout out to my band, the Falcon Fighter Gigatron. Look them up. But all right. I'm playing with the package. It's all made of elastic. Pull away from centralization. You'll see the madness. Your opinions are critical to the missions of pivotal people placed in positions telling you that you should listen. I'm spitting so hot that my tongue getting tan. Got the lot of then I opera singer's diaphragm. But dang, Uncle Sam, you the man. You know the quickest way to make 100 grand. But shh, I don't want to think about it too long. Man, let's go hard for a chill song. And when my bills are gone, I should buy a boat. Because I know of a body of water that I could float on. Water is the mind. Take a look inside. You might be surprised by what you find. Water is the mind, so let the seed of life show. We can start small, but let this mic grow. Water is the mind. Fire is the power. Water is the mind. Fire is the power. Water is the mind. Fire is the power. Water, the mind, fire, power. And some will smoke a pack a day and tell me that I'm wasting life. People tend to trick the tongue into telling these types of lies. The trick of the tongue is to tell of the tape. Water's the mind to the cats in the bait. I'm spending these hours just trying to find time, the time I need to compensate for playing with this package. The inside looks so tragic. The paper's made to look like oceans. How fitting, it wraps plastic. We bout had it. I'm back. I'm just out of practice. The song's missing nothing, but the next song has it. Cause water is the mind. I'm taking showers in it. Fire is the power and the fire's power tripping. Water is the mind. That's why my flow is different. I'm about to make the fire, make the power non-existent. Cause water is the mind. Fire is the power. Water is the mind. Fire is the power. Water is the mind. Fire is the power. Water, the mind, fire, power.
Hey, all right.
Thank you very much.
Water is the mind, fire is the power.
That's all I have for you guys today. I wish I could share some more with you, but
Okay, well, we thank
gotta
you. We
keep it
appreciate
exclusive.
it. And we will see you
I
on the
appreciate you.
next time.
all right.
We want to go ahead and now hand it over to Felicia Cade and see if she has another poem to share with us.
I do. All right. This one is called Confusion Doesn't Exist. We know what we want. We always do. Truth ain't never hard to find, just hard to digest, hard to accept. That the plan don't always go as planned no matter how hard you planned it. And love, be it a guest or a resident, will always show up when you need it and least expected. It knows us in ways we need to be known. And I don't know you, but I know you. Don't know what tomorrow holds, but today is hard to resist. I know I'm tired of fighting and wearing clothes that don't fit. I know I'm too big for labels, and I know I like you really hard, and all the chemicals that release in my head when you come around. I know that love is hard to come by and caves hard to find. I know that the hardest part of jumping is calculating the risk and going within. I know that not jumping is a life half lived. I know that happy is expensive, a high-class brother with no regrets. I know that control is an illusion, and freedom is a choice.
Wow.
It's a piece.
So what inspired that piece?
Love.
I mean, who inspired that piece? Maybe
Love. I'll just say love.
Okay, we don't want to be specific with it.
You know, not yet.
Okay.
Not on the air. Off the air, we get sick.
All right. Well, love is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, love. You know, it's. You know, I was thinking to myself and having a conversation with love, and love was kind of giving the vibe that it was confused, but at the end of the day I realized that like we know what we want. You know what I mean? But it's just all the questions and the what ifs and the past fears and all that kind of come into the play and block us from love. I think there's a quote by Rumi that says it's not about finding love but removing all of the barriers that we have pent up against it.
That's
Like,
powerful.
Very relevant to somebody's life right now.
Listen,
I'm just trying to figure out how to.
we be scared. We be running.
Exactly. Love is scary. For me, I definitely think love is very scary.
It is.
It can be.
I was saying, I was telling Love, I was like, you know, you got your walls up. And I asked, I said, well, do you know what your walls are? Because we say that in relationships, like, oh, your guard is up, but we never identify the wall or the guard. And it becomes this like nameless thing that we mix it like maybe it's fear, but like it's a thing, it's a whole being. You know, it's a whole creature that has, you know, it's got darts. It knows how to keep people away. Like it,
right, a whole entity. Like,
you know, it's a war vet. You know, but
I think it's learning how to love yourself first, but then it's like chipping away. It's like, how do you love yourself?
I mean, that's key. That's key. We cannot love anyone or anything if we don't take that time to, you know, love ourselves. And it could be a process. And there's no shame in saying that you're learning to love yourself again. There's no shame in that.
No shame in that.
Yeah, and I was saying too that I remember saying, you know, the thing that as women, when it comes to our walls, I think the walls that we build to protect ourselves, to protect the little girl, become, you know, an enemy of the woman.
Oh,
that is
that's
so
deep.
powerful.
That's
It's
deep
right
there.
And it's so true.
Because we built it to protect ourselves and to protect that little girl because she was in a war zone.
Right.
But what was protection for the little girl is holding the woman hostage.
What I've learned with that, because we have that child in us and that woman that we're becoming, is how to merge it. So I've learned processes on such as like watch a cartoon that you used to watch when you were a kid, and then watch the adult movie, and then learn slowly how to merge them together, because we're never really going to give up that little girl in us.
Yeah.
No, but like you said, Felicia, you don't want it to hold you back, because we are not that little girl anymore. We do want to stay connected with our inner child. We don't want to take life so seriously. But, you know, she has to sit down because the woman is standing up.
Yeah. She got to know. She really just has to relinquish control, and she got to know that she can. She has to relinquish control and know that it's okay. It's safe now. Like, we're not in this. It's like a war vet that's mentally still in war. And I have a poem about that. You know what I mean? Just about how war vets, even though they're out of the environment, their mind is still in it. You know, and having to really readjust. Like, oh, I'm in. You know, for me, it was like constantly reminding myself, like, oh, I'm not even in that kind of environment. I'm not attracting that kind of energy no more. Like, I'm not that person no more. Like, oh no, this is not the same. Like, you know, like, oh, we know we ain't there no more.
Right.
You know, old me is like, oh no, sister, I don't know you.
Like, hold on, wait a minute.
You seem to be a very strong woman to be able to do that on your own.
Yeah,
that
God.
whole process.
Most definitely.
Yeah, God.
Totally admiring.
Oh, thank you. Now, I give all glory to God. My hard-headed self.
Thank
I
you.
just listen, you know.
I appreciate that, because you know, sometimes it's hard to like understand yourself when you haven't really involved yourself with other women, and other women have gone through the same process. I really, really want to, you know, thank you for sharing that, being vulnerable and being very transparent with a lot of the poems. And welcome back.
Thank you.
Most definitely.
Shout out to Kyla. Shout out to my mama.
Hey,
Shout
mama.
out to my mama. That's my reason for coming back to you. My mama's a stroke survivor, so she just survived her last stroke and is doing good. So shout out to my beautiful mom.
Most definitely, and I know she'll bounce back.
Oh,
you know, that's what we do.
Yes.
We always do. Women are very strong. And once again, you guys are listening to Hotwordz Lyrical Theater on Accelerated Radio. Thank you for tuning in today.
Yes, we want to shout out Shirley Woods. Okay, we want to give her some birthday love because it's her birthday. Okay, so Shirley Woods, wherever you are, enjoy your day. High energy, high vibes. We want to shout out Patria Coffee, Explosive Extensions, and Veganish Eats. All right, they're delivering Wednesdays only, so y'all need to slide in that DM and let them know what y'all want. Please subscribe to our YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify if you did miss the show. Next week we got a return guest from Denver, and we have a special guest in the studio, so we're not going to drop it yet. You just got to tune in and see who that be. Okay. And we want to thank Felicia Cade coming back to the city, giving that energy that we definitely need, because this is the time. It's all about that forward movement and unity.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Everybody, thank you for listening. Please follow me on Instagram at RiseFelicia_speak.
Yes.
Definitely.
And we have we got Black Gold following. We appreciate y'all. Peace.
Thank you.